Well, to our first topic of discuss today. In the past 28 years of operations, the Nigerian Postal Service, Nipost, has been fraught with myriads of challenges in the discharge of its responsibility in providing postal administration and services across the country due to lack of adequate funding, amongst other issues. However, since the appointment of the current Postmaster-General and Chief Executive Officer of Nipost, Dr. Ismail Adewusi, the agency in the last 2 years has evolved from an analog system of operations to a fully digitalized organization as part of its measures to reposition itself in line with the modern global business realities. This development has led to a boom in Nigeria's e-commerce space as delivery providers in the country have seen a steady growth in their revenues and surge in parcels and packet deliveries. The PMG briefed media yesterday, giving an overview of activities. Let's take a listen to part of what he said. Well, joining me now live via Zoom to assess growth challenges and prospects of Nipost in the 2 years of operations is the Postmaster-General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Postal Service, Nipost, Dr. Ismail Adewusi. Good afternoon, PMG. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
All right, PMG, let's start with an overview of activities in the last 2 years. I know a lot has been done, but would like you to just take your time to give us a brief of some major achievements in 2 years.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to say that Nipost is still work in progress. The last 2 years has been very challenging, particularly because the COVID pandemic actually created its own dynamics, which affected the way we do business. Remember that 60% of our business has to do with exports of mails and cargoes to the rest of the world. Because of the closure of the airspaces of member countries of Universal Postal Union, which Nigeria is a proud member, in the last year to really activate the process of export of mails and cargoes, as it were. So it's created a lot of challenges, really. And that is also compounded with the fact that over time, and it's also another global phenomenon, the numbers and volumes of mails have declined because people are no longer writing letters, as it were. Disruptive nature of technology, internet actually proves to be major, has also thrown about a number of other opportunities as e-commerce tools have increased over the same time frame. The way that we of the times is in adopting more technology, our operations, tinkering with our processes and procedures, and ensuring to focus more on our workforce and ensure that they can optimally deliver, because as a service provider, we provide service to customers across the length and breadth of Nigeria. So we continue to do what we needed to do. Don't forget that we operate in a very competitive environment, as you have so many players operating in the private sector who are also challenging us on a day-to-day basis. But the good news is that The reach, spread. We are present in all governments of Nigeria, even in the farthest, remotest part of Nigeria, we have presence. And so, private sector players operating on the platform of profitability, they are not able to compete when it comes to reaching out with talent, which Nipost has a near monopoly out. And so, we continue to reinvent ourselves. We continue to use technology to drive our operation, and that is a work in progress as we continue this year.
Now, I've also seen that there was a little bit of setback when you came in talking about COVID-19 and its effect. How well have we been able to get out of that, and how well are we doing now? Of course, technology is the way to go. You identified. So are we pushing COVID behind us now and forging ahead?
Yes, of course, COVID has become a new normal. We have to live with it. And so, in the spirit of accommodating all the challenges that has to continue to keep going, that also has its own challenges, as it were. But I can assure you, based on the reform that is currently going on in Nigerian Postal Service, this year there's going to be so many good news coming out of Nigerian Postal Service. I want to tell you that in the course of the last 2 years, the reform of the post actually commenced very rigorously with the active support of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Kami, who has provided very strong leadership in ensuring that this reform takes place. Let me tell you why the reform has become very significant, very important. Nipost is a social service provider. One of the cornerstones of our operation as the designated public postal operator of Nigeria is that we subsidize our rates. The rates at which we carry our activities are highly subsidized because we up until late last year, we still carried mails and letters and parcels for 50 naira. If you are going from Lagos to Maiduguri, we carry it at 50 naira. The government had seen the need for reform in that area, and that rate has now been adjusted in line with inflation, in line with the cost of operation, to about 250 naira minimum, which is still not enough, but at least it's a gradual process, and we believe that will help us to improve on our quality of service. But the most important area of reform that has happened to Nipost is the area of the creation of some new companies as subsidiaries. That is what we call the unbundling of Nigerian Postal Service. Nipost has a very vast assets across Nigeria. Land just there. I mean, we're there and exposed to encroachments and of problems, you know. And the government has taken that initiative, creating a subsidiary of Nipost Property and Development Company Limited, which is designed and mandated to leverage on all these assets and make sure that the assets are transformed into cash-making venture through commercialization. And similarly, the government has also set up a transport and logistics company, which is another limited liability company, a subsidiary of Nipost. The sense of that is to use that platform to improve on our presence in the area of logistics operation. You will agree with me, logistics is a very big business in Nigeria today. The logistics as a business alone accounts for about 250 billion on annual revenue, and Nipost is now positioned through the ongoing reform to participate more actively in that sector. And so the companies are already, the boards of the two companies have been will soon be in place. And once that is done, that aspect of our business will be commercialized, even though we will still continue to subsidize to some extent. But we need to survive today to survive to the future. And that's the reason why it's taking that decision to unbundle. And so many other initiatives are coming up. Nipost will have a post bank very soon. That is also expected to further enhance the financial inclusive strategy of the federal government of Nigeria. And Nipost has actually been playing active role in financial inclusion strategy over time because of our presence, of our reach in various parts of the country. So we will continue to remain focused. We will continue to do continue to provide quality service to our numerous clients across Nigeria.
Great, well said, dear PMG. Now, PMG, it's a two-in-one question now. When we talk on bundling, people think that it could lead to loss of jobs, and people will be thinking about their jobs, that I hope all jobs are safe. That's on one side. Tell us more also. We see a lot of public-private partnership. You've identified some, even recently, even with the EFCC, FRS. You've gone all around, AFDB, and all of it. Tell us some of the positives of this.
We're talking about the implication, the impact of the reform and the unbundling. The government has taken that position that no staff of Nigerian Postal Service, about 13,000 strength workforce, will leave their job. Everybody will remain their job. As a matter of fact, we will create more platform, more opportunities for expansion as we create new companies that we need to staff those companies, and so there is nobody is going to lose their job. I want to assure our workforce, our workers, that their work is safe. I'm talking about the strategy of private-public partnership. That's the only way that Nipost could have survived. Because Nipost, like I said, on many fora, is not in the national budget for capital. And so we have to find a way to continue to deliver on our mandate. And that is why placed the use of public-private partnership to drive many of our operations. Because we are limited to what we look as our IGR to drive our business in the capital, in the overhead, and of the thing. So, and the best way so far that we have managed to survive the financial crunch is to engage the use of public-private partnership. And I can tell you it is yielding very good dividend. Because what we do not have in funding, we have been able to bring to the table using the instrumentality of the PPP. And it's really working. It's a very good initiative, and it's going to continue in the coming years.
PMG, let me also ask you about the logistics and courier services business, which, of course, one way it's another way to grow small businesses. There's been this issue about maybe fees or levies from Nipost. How far with that issue? Has it been resolved? What's the stance? How can you run your business without having any problems? That's talking about the logistics and courier business registering under Nipost.
Well, thank you. By law, Nipost is charged with responsibility of licensing all private courier operators in Nigeria. That is the law setting up Nipost, and so we have that responsibility to ensure that every courier operator is properly registered, so that we can monitor what they do We need to know where they are, where they operate, who are their promoters, so that we know what exactly they are doing. For example, I've made this point in the past. In one of our collaborations with the was a bit, it was revealed on one particular occasion that some of the operators of engaged in delivering service through area have been involved in very criminal activities, carrying of drugs, carrying of ammunition, and all of that. And so what we have done is that all of the operators have been licensed, and so it affords us the opportunity to monitor them. And we've actually furnished the list of all the licensed operators to the NDLEA and also to the EFCC. And that is useful to the extent that if you accost any of them on the road and you find out that it's not registered, then such a person is liable to face some sanctions. And that's what we have been doing as a responsible corporate organization. It is to ensure that criminality is minimized to the barest minimum, and of course that legally registered people without unnecessary disturbance through the work of all these illegal operators. And we've continued to sanitize that industry. Last year, we did a review of the courier and logistic regulation, which was last reviewed about 20 years ago. We did a far-reaching review, and because of that, we've been able to continue to monitor their operations, and in some cases, we have had to clamp down. And I'll tell you that what we found out through that exercise is quite unfortunate, because we've seen so many illegalities perpetrated by these people in those illegal areas. And I want to plead with Nigerians that they should know the kind of people that they give their wares, to carry on their behalf using. If anybody is not registered, don't patronize them, because we have had reported cases of where they run away, even with the packages of customers who had to come back to Nipost to report. And we told them that fortunately those people, those operators were not registered by us. And that's why we have actually taken this even more serious to ensure that every vehicle you see on the road in Nigeria operating as courier service is well registered and documented. Yes.
Well, finally, PMG, so I'll let you go. What more should we expect? 2 years gone, we know you're still on. What more should we be expecting from Nipost?
Well, thank you very much. Nipost will continue to live up to the expectation of our numerous customers by providing good quality service, by continuing to ensure that we surpass their expectation. We have challenges, there is no doubt about it, but even in spite of the challenges, we continue to keep going. We continue to reinvent ourselves, and of course, we will continue to embrace even more technology this year, so that you can even stay in your home, and then you want to send a package, you can do that online, and it will be picked up in your home and delivered wherever you want it delivered. So all of these are new things. For those who want to register as courier operators, we already have a portal that they can log in online, they can do the application online, they can make their payments for the licenses online. And so everything is now much more seamless, unlike before. And these are the new things that we are doing. Our financial services is going to go even much more stronger this year, because in all our postal outlets, we are going to have the opportunity to do transactions We collect cash in our counters. We already have licenses to do that as a super agent license that we have from the Central Bank of Nigeria. You can do transfer, you can do a lot of transactions at post office. And more importantly, this year, Nipost is going to strengthen our e-government services this year. We have already started the registration of national identity number in our various post offices. We are going to further improve on that, and this year we are going to be able to get people to apply for their driver's licenses through our postal facilities. You can even go further, apply for your international passports. All of these are e-government services that Nipost is now positioned to deliver to Nigerians this year and beyond. So these are some of the things that Nipost is positioned to do this year as we enter 2022.
I must thank you so much, Postmaster-General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Postal Service, Dr. Ismail Adewusi. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.